Hey guys, and welcome to the video. My name is JJ, and in this video I'm going to teach you guys everything you need to know about steering a motorcycle. I'm going to go over 4 aspects of steering that you guys need to know in order to become better and safer riders. These are things that even I didn't know about back when I first got my license. I did not know about them until I started actively researching and implementing them into my riding, and I can tell you right now that I am a safer and better rider for learning them. So do stick around. Even if you are experienced riders, I'm sure these will help you out. So the 4 aspects of steering that we're gonna go over today are counter steering, body positioning, choosing a line, and throttle control. So I'm heading over to the industrial area so that I could show you guys these tips and tricks in relative safety. So in the meantime, just enjoy the ride. Like the video. If you're new, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you won't miss an upload. I post weekly motorcycle videos. So I am going to be doing separate videos for all of the techniques shown here. They can all be explored further, and I can go into much more detail into the physics of how the techniques work, and that way I can keep this video to a manageable length. So what I need from you guys is to comment down below which technique you guys would like me to make a video on, a more detailed video on first. So, how do you steer a motorcycle? You turn the handlebars right and the bike goes right. You turn them left and the bike goes left, right?
Well, yes, but actually no.
Let's see how the bike actually behaves. I'm going to be pushing the right handlebar forwards, so the front wheel should turn left and the bike should steer left, right? And as you can see, it does not. Let's try again. Same thing. So let's try it with the left hand this time. I'm going to be pushing the left hand side of the handlebars forwards and the bike goes left. Well, this is called counter steering, and it is the only way that you can steer a motorcycle. Now you may be thinking that this does not make a whole lot of sense, as the bike would naturally go in which direction that you point it, right? That is true when the bike is stationary, but when the bike gets enough momentum to stand upright, that is when you're actually riding it, there's no way you can force the handlebars to turn the front wheel in the direction that you want to go. It just doesn't work that way. So the only way to steer a motorcycle is to tip it over. The way to do it is to apply pressure, forwards pressure on the inside handlebar, and then the bike will tip over onto that side, and that in turn will turn the front wheel towards the turn. Now you might be wondering, then how have you been riding a bike all these years without doing this counter steering, right? Well, I too went through this when I first learned of it. The thing is, we are always counter steering. There's no other way to steer a motorcycle. I'll go back to when I first started learning a bike to give you guys a picture. The person teaching me told me to just do it and then I'll get it. And I'm sure that was the case with most of you guys. You do it a few times and then you eventually get it. This is our brain taking the task over from us out of its sense of survival. The task seems foreign to us because the machine is actually behaving counter to how we expect it to. And then, we pick it up without knowing, and then it's stored in our subconscious, and we've been using it like that ever since. So, however you steer, you will always be doing counter steering because there's no other way a bike can be turned, steered, period. So the focus of this lesson is to bring that counter steering directly under your control. This will help you to control the rate at which you tip your bike over. That gives you more control in cornering and in avoiding obstacles. You push on the handlebars gently and then you'll do a gentle turn. You push hard and then you'll do a hard turn. So it's as simple as that. So for the first time you do this actively, it will be really weird. I suggest you find an open space and try it out. Just do a gentle little push and see how the bike behaves. And eventually this will feel as natural as however you've been steering before, and then for that you'll be in more control over your bike and a much better and safer rider. The second technique we're going to learn today is body positioning. For this, I thought it would be fun to start at the very extreme of motorcycle riding, that is the MotoGP. Take a look at this picture, and what do you guys think the riders hope to achieve by hanging off their bikes like that? This diagram shows 3 instances of the same turn taken at the same speed. The only difference being the rider's body position. In the first one, he is sitting in line with the bike, and in the second one, he is sitting in what we call the crossed up position. He is pushing the bike down, and in the third one, he is hanging off the bike. And as you can clearly see, the third one is out of all 3 where the bike is most upright, and that's what you want in a turn. You want the bike to be as upright as possible while you're doing the turn, so that you will have more of your tires contact patch working for you to provide traction, so that you won't slip out. And that's it. So let's go back to the MotoGP picture then. These bikes are tipped over as far as they can go. They are actually on the edge of the tire. So why are they still hanging off? Well, this serves to increase the speed. So with that extra push from that weight of them hanging off, they can go through the turn faster. And that's all that is. So obviously for city riding, we don't need that much speed. We don't need any speed at all basically. So what do? All you need to do is move your upper body, just your upper body, slightly to the side in which you want to turn. So I'm going to demonstrate this using a badly drawn rider so that you guys can see. So as you can see, the rider is sitting centered. He sees the right turn coming up, moves slightly to the right, pushes on his inside handlebar, does the counter steering into the turn, and then gets back centered. Same for the left. Gets into position before the turn comes. You only need to move your body slightly, and that's just the top half of it. And that gives you that slight a bit of lesser lean angle to go through a turn. So this is what not to do, and what I see a lot of guys do in Mahle. Is this turn coming up, a left coming up, and the rider hangs off on the outside. This will serve to push your bike down further than it needs to go to do the turn. And another thing not to do is to get into position while you're in the turn. That will just throw the bike out of whack for no reason. Now the third technique that we're going to learn today is choosing a line. I'm actually kind of saddened that I have to teach you guys this. Back when I got my license, I would not have been able to pass the exam if I didn't do this perfectly. And in fact, I actually failed once because I panicked and did a turn too fast. But most of the guys I see riding these days either don't know about this or don't care. But either way, you should. So here goes. For this first one, I'm gonna do a bad turn. This is choosing a bad line. So let's go over that again. So I have started the turn and I have no visual on the road, none at all. And here I'm well into the turn and still I cannot see the road at all. I cannot see whether anyone is coming or anything. I'm just going there blind. Now this should be pretty obvious, but as stated, it apparently isn't. So let's see a good turn. So I'm going, I'm looking, and now I'm turning. See, even when I initiated the turn, I could see most of the road, and as I started, I could see, as you can see, clearly all the way through to the road. And even if anyone jumped out at me, there would be ample distance between me and them, so that I could avoid them. The third technique that we're going to talk about today is throttle control. So for this, let's go back briefly to the counter steering portion of the video. Watch this left hand counter steering turn that I did. Watch what happens as soon as I let go of that forward pressure. The bike stands back up immediately. This is because I've been letting off of the throttle. So the bike is decelerating, and as I let go of that forward pressure on the bars, the bike stands back up immediately. So the inverse of this is also true. When you initiate a turn using counter steering and then you gently roll on the throttle, as in you give the bike more gas, the bike will naturally complete that turn without any more input from the handlebars. Now rolling the throttle on through a turn will give you the added benefit of maintaining the weight balance of the bike, that is the front wheel weight in relation to the back. When in a turn, the bike will start getting front heavy, the back will start lifting up, and then you'll start losing traction on the back wheel. With the added gas applied gently, the back wheel will start gripping more, and then the bike will level itself out. This will give you more traction, as in your tires will have more contact with the ground, and it will also allow your suspension to work better, as they will be in the optimum position due to the weight being balanced. So in summary, to do a perfect turn, do all your braking beforehand, get into position, wait until you start seeing the road that you actually wanted to turn, counter steer into the turn, roll on the throttle gently, and then ride it out. That's it. So for all of the techniques that I taught you today, you will need to practice them in order to do them efficiently and become better riders. So as I said earlier, all of these techniques can be broken down further, and I do plan to make separate videos on them, as I can explain them further. I can explain the physics behind how they work. So once again, what I need from you guys is to comment down below which technique you would like me to break down first. So that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.